Fire in the hole. Welcome to another episode of Fro-Dog Arcade Repair. Today we have a Wells Gardner 14K3101, also known as a U3100. We're going to light bulb test this chassis today. Via the schematic, found a good place to grab our B+. It is over here on the cathode of D609. Now the schematic shows it as a single diode, but we obviously have two diodes in series here. D609 goes right over to coil L603, and it's tiny and hard to find a place we can grab a gator clip over here. Its resistance will be de minimis, so we don't need to go on the outside of L603 like the schematic shows us as a B+ point. I think the best and robust place to grab on is right on D609, just ahead of that coil. We could grab it over here at jumper 602, but not a great place to grab into. I still think that is a very nice and robust place to clip on. We've got our ground on our chassis over here. We have our collector of our HOT lifted out of circuit, so we're going to get no high voltage. All we want to do is see the power supply come up, and let's get our chirp and hopefully get our light bulb. No time like the present. Fire in the hole. Voila! We have our light bulb lit up. We've got 107.2 coming out of our power supply. Our B+ adjustment is here. I did not find a spec yet. I've got a schematic, but it doesn't give me a spec for the B+. I'm going to guess it's around 100, either 100 or 105, maybe 110. Our light bulb is not an exact analog for a CRT operating, so once we get this back on a CRT, we'll see what kind of picture we've got, and we'll take a look at our B+ then. But for now, the 107.1.2, let's make sure that our B+ pot adjusts. Now this little daughter board sticking up has our dual inline package 8-pin IC. That is our pulse width modulation driver for our switch mode power supply. This is a 3-pin power switch mode, so we don't need an isolation transformer, even though we are on one. Everything on the bench gets one. So let's see that our B+ adjust. Make sure our power supply is working. Look at that. Let's take it back up to that 107 that we found it at, or it was at there just before we started messing with the pot. Alright, I'm going to cut away. We're going to solder that collector back in, and we're going to be back for our stage 2 B+ test, light bulb test, our stage 2 light bulb test. Now we're ready for our stage 2 light bulb test. We're going to see if we've got the high voltage and horizontal circuits working. Same test points: ground, cathode of D609. We've got our AC connected. We've got our neck board and remote board dangling out of the way. Now, this time we've got our trusty glass Pac-Man mug. Danger, high voltage, Will Robinson. Where we're going to put our high voltage anode to insulate it and get out of the way. And on this test, we're going to look for a little bit of snap, crackle, and pop down in that jar. We'll listen for that. But we're hooked up. Fire in the hole. Power supply's up. With the high voltage circuit in line, we're 1017. I think we're 100 volts for this chassis B+ when we're all done. And and I can hear some ever so slight snapping in there in our glass jar. So horizontal output high voltage section is up and running. Thank you for joining me at Fro-Dog Arcade Repair. I hope you enjoyed the video, found it useful, or at least entertaining. Please subscribe below, like, follow, and share with your friends. And remember, fire in the hole.